Attention passionate Seattle Seahawks fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Seattle Seahawks' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Seattle Seahawks fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Seattle SEAHAWKS fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. What we're seeing right now in the NFL landscape, especially in the NFC West, is nothing short of fascinating. There's whispers, rumors swirling around that could reshape the division, and I'm here to break it all down for you. We're talking about a potential blockbuster trade involving Cesar Ruiz, the talented interior lineman from the New Orleans Saints, heading over to the Seattle Seahawks. This isn't just a minor move. It's a strategic play that could elevate the Seahawks' contention status significantly, especially as they look towards a deep playoff run. But let's start from the beginning, because this situation is layered and full of implications that every Seahawks fan needs to understand. So for those of you who might not be fully caught up, the New Orleans Saints are currently struggling. They sit at a disappointing 2-6 record, and if you've been paying attention, you know that their defense has been leaking points at an alarming rate, something around 28 points per game. That's not exactly the kind of defensive numbers you want when you're trying to compete in the tough NFC. On top of that, their offensive line has been inconsistent at best, which has made life difficult for quarterback Derek Carr. And let's face it, the Saints are in a bit of a rebuild mode right now, especially after their struggles in 2024 and with some key injuries like the Lisfranc injury affecting players such as Christian Haynes and Oluwadimi. It's no secret that they are looking to shake things up, and one of the ways they're exploring that is through trade. Sources close to the league, including some reputable insiders like Adam Schefter, have been whispering about this potential trade that could be on the horizon. The Saints, realizing they need to rebuild their roster, are open to trading Cesar Ruiz, who's only 27 years old but has already established himself as a versatile and reliable interior lineman. The Saints are reportedly willing to part ways with Ruiz in exchange for a second-round pick in the 2026 draft, and in doing so, they would also free up around $8 million in cap space. That's a significant move for them as they try to retool and build for the future, especially considering their needs on the defensive line and their overall rebuild strategy. But what does this mean for the Seattle Seahawks? Well, for starters, it's a massive opportunity. Seattle, currently leading the NFC West with a solid 5-2 record and sitting comfortably with about $21 million in available cap space, sees this as a chance to shore up their interior offensive line. They've been dealing with some injury concerns, particularly with Christian Haynes and Oluwadimi, both of whom have been sidelined due to injuries, leaving a noticeable gap in the middle of their line. Adding Cesar Ruiz, a player with a reputation for elite run blocking and a decent grading from PFF, specifically a career grade of 62, could be exactly what the Seahawks need to push their offense to the next level. And let's talk about Ruiz's strengths. He's a versatile interior lineman, capable of playing both guard positions, but most importantly, he excels as a run blocker. His ability to pull and create lanes in zone schemes is impressive, with a success rate of 78% in zone blocking, and he's known for minimal penalties, averaging just 1-2 penalties per game. When you compare him to players like Christian Haynes, Ruiz's efficiency stands out even more. His pass protection isn't bad either, with a pass block grade of 65-2, allowing only about 2-1 pressures per game and surrendering just 0.8 sacks. Yes, injuries have limited him at times. He's only played 2 full games this season due to a knee injury. But when healthy, he's shown flashes of dominance that can elevate an offensive line's overall performance. Now, the impact of bringing Ruiz into Seattle isn't just about the numbers. It's about the chemistry and the strategic advantage. The Seahawks' offensive scheme under Ryan Grubb is heavily reliant on zone runs, and Ruiz's ability to excel in pull blocks and zone schemes could double their explosive plays, which currently hover around 5-2 per game. If he joins, that number could jump to over 10 explosive plays of over 10 yards per game, significantly boosting their offense. This would help take pressure off Sam Darnold, allowing him to operate with a more balanced and potent offensive line. Additionally, it would help mitigate some of the pressure on their interior blockers, reducing sacks and pressures, which have been a limiting factor at times this season. And we've seen how this kind of upgrade can ripple through the team. For example, Kenneth Walker III, the Seahawks' dynamic running back, would benefit greatly. His EPA, expected points added, per run could increase by about 12%, translating into more consistent yardage and longer sustained drives. The third down conversion rate could also improve from around 3% to 40%, which is huge in terms of sustaining drives and controlling the game clock. The offensive line's improved stability would also allow the Seahawks to double their running game success, leading to more big plays in the passing game, like with Jackson Smith-Njigba, who's already shown flashes of brilliance with an average of 16.4 yards per reception. But beyond the offensive improvements, this move also has defensive implications. When your offensive line is stronger, it helps keep your defense fresh. It allows defenders to stay aggressive, knowing they're not constantly battling to contain the run or pressure the quarterback. This can lead to more forced turnovers and less pressure on the secondary, which has been tested at times this season. For teams like the Rams, who tend to rely on their passing game, a stronger Seahawks front can be a game changer, forcing their offense to adapt and creating more opportunities for turnovers or sacks. Now, looking at the bigger picture, this potential trade could significantly boost Seattle's Super Bowl odds. Currently, their chances are around plus 1,200, but if they successfully integrate Ruiz into their lineup, those odds could shrink to plus 600 or even lower. That's a huge shift, making the Seahawks a true dark horse in the postseason conversation. Their chances of winning 5 games could jump to around 13, especially if their offensive line solidifies as a top-tier unit capable of protecting Darnold and opening running lanes for Walker. With a more reliable offensive line, the Seahawks could challenge teams like the 49ers more effectively, and the confidence on both sides of the ball would skyrocket. And let's not forget the historical context. Seattle has always been known for their dominant offensive lines, especially during the Walter Jones era, when the team was an offensive juggernaut and a perennial Super Bowl contender. Bringing someone like Ruiz into the fold evokes that same spirit, a dynamic, versatile lineman capable of transforming the entire attack. With his ability to excel in zone schemes and his emerging reputation as a clutch performer in the postseason, he has an 85% pass protection efficiency in playoffs. Ruiz could be a key piece that pushes the Seahawks back to the top, reestablishing their dominance in the NFC West and beyond. Now, you might be wondering about the Saints' perspective in all of this. They're clearly in a rebuild mode, and the strategy seems to be focused on acquiring draft capital and freeing up cap space for future extensions, especially for younger players like Derek Carr. Their odds of making the playoffs are currently around plus 20 for the Super Bowl, and with their struggles and the injuries they're facing, they're looking to get younger and more flexible for the years ahead. Trading Ruiz makes sense for them, especially if they believe they can rebuild around their defensive line. Despite their current struggles, they see potential there and want to draft the right players to bolster that unit. For the Seahawks, though, this is a golden opportunity. They're sitting pretty at 5-2, and with a stronger interior line, their chances to make a deep playoff run become even more realistic. The addition of Ruiz could give them that extra edge needed to topple division rivals like the 49ers, who have been dominant but are vulnerable on their offensive line, especially with injuries and inconsistencies. It's about strategic moves, about seizing opportunities when they appear, and right now, Seattle has a real chance to capitalize on this potential trade. Imagine the scene, an offensive line anchored by a versatile and dynamic player like Cesar Ruiz, leading the charge in zone runs, pulling to create lanes, and protecting the quarterback in crucial moments. It's reminiscent of the Seahawks' glory days when their offensive line was the backbone of their Super Bowl-winning teams. This move isn't just about fixing a problem. It's about reshaping the team's identity and setting the stage for a serious postseason push. The fans, the city, the entire Seahawks nation should be excited about the possibilities. As we look ahead, the NFL landscape is shifting, and the Seahawks seem poised to make a bold statement if this trade materializes. They're already competitive, but with Ruiz, they could become a true powerhouse, capable of challenging not just the division but the entire conference. The synergy between their offense and defense, with the added protection and run game efficiency, could be the catalyst for a Super Bowl run. And all of this hinges on whether the trade actually goes through, something that's still in the rumor mill, but the signs point to it being a real possibility. So, Seahawks fans, stay tuned. This story is unfolding right before our eyes, and it could be one of the most impactful moves of the season. The team is looking to build something special, and with players like Cesar Ruiz potentially donning the Seahawks jersey, we're looking at a new chapter in the team's storied history. The future is bright, and the journey to another Super Bowl may just have taken a big leap forward. Keep your eyes on the news, stay passionate, and let's see how this story develops. The Seahawks are not just playing for this season. They're building a legacy, and moves like this could be the key to making history once again.